The Federated States of Micronesia comprises many different islands, and each with their own rich culture. Over time, outside influences have had their impact, and some practices that have negative health consequences are being attributed to culture. One of the most troubling practices is the chewing of betel nut, with and without tobacco, and sometimes with alcohol. This new activity is causing a rise in the number of deaths of Micronesians from various types of cancer. According to the 2010 FSM census, for adults between the ages of 25 and 60 in Chuuk, 30.4% smoked cigarettes, 27.4% chew betel nut, and 8.2% did both. In Pohnpei, the numbers were 17.6% smoked cigarettes, 40.5% chew betel nut, and 12.1% did both. Yap has 14.4% who smoke cigarettes, 65% chew betel nut, and 13% did both. Finally, in Koshrai, 11.9% smoked cigarettes, 16.7% chew betel nut, and 11% did both. With access to cheap tobacco and locally grown betel nuts, people have had an easy opportunity to participate in this unhealthy practice. But in doing so, they are risking their health.
I'm a very athletic guy. I play basketball, I play all sorts of sports. Yes, I chew, but not like these other guys that they've been chewing their whole life. I chew like maybe once a day, maybe a year, that's it. Life is so unfair. When I look at some of these guys, they're still chewing. They don't even get cancer from it. Then here I am, just try it and that's it.
Betel nut is a group 1 carcinogen, which means that it is known to cause cancer in humans. Habitual use of betel nut has been associated with a number of long-term adverse health effects, including oral precancer, cancer, heart and respiratory effects, diabetes mellitus, poor pregnancy outcomes, mental illness, addiction, and toxic effects. A startling figure comes from a survey conducted at a referral medical center in Hawaii that notes a 67% mortality rate among Micronesians with oral cancer.
During this time, I've seen that a lot, it's increasing. The number is increasing. Because when I started working, I had some data from record, and it was like 5 or 9 people, but now I know there's more than 5 or 9 people that have mouth cancer. So definitely the problem is increasing.
Maybe a few years ago, we didn't have cases of oral cancer on the mouth. Now, after 12-15 years with chewing betel nut with tobacco, we have a rising incidence now of oral cancer. Usually, patients present with pain and swelling in the gums and with difficulty in swallowing, and they complain about inability to sleep at night. So most of these cases, what we do is we just give some silocaine gels for the pain to relieve the pain, and some pain relievers, and some anti-infectives. And most of these patients are referred off-island, either via the state insurance plans or the Chuuk State Healthcare Plan, or those patients without insurance, they're being referred to the non-insured program. That's how we manage these patients with oral cancer.
When it comes to chewing betel nut and tobacco, it's not just mouth cancer that people have to worry about. Other cancers like lung, nasopharynx, tongue cancer, and supraglottis or neck cancer have increased year by year in the FSM states.
In 2010, my husband died because of oral cancer. He was 36 years old. He's been chewing for 15 years. We have only one son. The loss that we have is our son. His average grades, he's like 3 boy and up. But after my husband died, he really dropped from his grade. And he always like recall his father. He wanted to have a father, in his life. So, because he was still a young boy. I've lost many loved ones to cancer, and most recently our beloved mother. It's hard to lose one parent, let alone two.
Well, the precancerous lesions, or what we can say, the signs of cancer, it's almost, you've seen that almost maybe every 2 weeks, somebody pop in with an erosive or ulcerated cheek. The cases that we've sent off island are more like stage 4 cases. These are the cases that the treatment is more like 50-50. People might have a chance, but can live maybe less than 5 years. And on the island with no post-operative care, we tend to lose our people even far less than 5 years.
Raya mapula-pulakan ran murs ter kang po bagi iben kena yawan wirak o metak mayan ke awan metakan cancer sota metak may ken tuwete utani anak kawawira ranana buti rater puya ben nei serigo sto mo itang rarang kang po nei serariaman takamen saraben man amen tek mira laute mala nei sarama laut ko ikaw yang ram utan kang rangkang po pagi ngei iken yawan metak wairak apal o yang momen meseye ay kilikilang way ay sa waramas kilikilang meseye solar to wedata meseye men maso.
Betel nut contains a substance called auriculine. Auriculine is a chemical that can make control of type 2 diabetes worse. Insulin is required by the body so that glucose can enter cells and be used as energy instead of staying in the bloodstream. Insulin binds to receptors and glucose transporters are made. Glucose transporters fuse to the cell membrane to allow for glucose to enter the cell. It is believed that auriculine can interfere with the uptake of insulin in the cells of the body by blocking the production of glucose transporters, thereby leaving glucose in the bloodstream, which can result in high blood sugar. Fat is metabolized or processed by the liver. Auriculine inhibits the uptake of the fat by the liver, which leads to atherogenesis. Atherogenesis is the development of fat accumulation, plaque, in the arteries, creating a risk of cardiovascular disease that can lead to high blood pressure, heart attack, or stroke.
I started chewing when I was still in elementary school as 7 or 8.
I have been chewing for quite a long time now, ever since when I was back in elementary school. That's when I started chewing betel nut.
On and off for about 20 years.
I've been chewing betel nut for 35 years.
I've been chewing for 18 years.
In Chuk, betel nut is not part of our culture, but people are viewing it as something that is a problem. But with the kids especially, because most of the kids are like using betel nut as a way of socializing with their peers. So I think that's why it's getting out of hands, that although our programs are trying to discourage them from chewing betel nut.
In Yap State, a survey was held to get feedback from the public on their knowledge and practices of using betel nut and tobacco, because betel nut is considered a part of traditional Yapese culture.
Most of the study participants felt that people get sick and die from using tobacco, but they knew there were good reasons to quit, and they felt there could be ways to help them to stop using tobacco. A lot of people reported that they started early in using tobacco and betel nut because of their peers and even adults who were providing these things to them. It seems that a lot of tobacco and betel nut users were more motivated to quit because of money rather than to help with their health. But no matter what the reason was, they said it would be hard because of the culture and the environment of Yap, because it's hard to stop when it's happening everywhere.
I've tried several times to quit chewing, but I just couldn't. I think the reason why I couldn't stop chewing is because of other people that chew. They chew around me. I see them chewing, so I think that's the reason why I keep on chewing.
So I have to quit in order for me to share this to my kids. Not only them, but everybody else, every kids today. I am a father that really experienced the bad side of betel nut.
My advice to the betel nut chewer, I know it's hard, but to try and stop chewing betel nut and stop the use of tobacco, both smoking it and chewing it.
And for pregnant women that choose betel nut, they can have babies that has low birth weight. For example, like also pregnant women that choose betel nut, they seem to have folate deficiency or folic acid deficiency. So it's a really big problem.
Right now, oral cancer and lung cancer are taking turns being the #1 most prevalent cancer in Yap. 60% of Yap's adult cancers are tobacco related, and just early this month, our governor declared a state of health emergency because of the rising rate of non-communicable diseases. And the increasing number of diseases and deaths are most likely due to our unhealthy lifestyle in Yap, of which alcohol and tobacco are big contributors to.
In addition to declaring a state of emergency for NCDs in Pohnpei State, the government is looking to make policy changes that would have a great impact on people's ability to access betel nut.
In November 2013, the Governor John Essa has declared that Pohnpei State is in a state of emergency due to NCDs. So he has called upon all stakeholders to collaborate with the NCD programs to come up with a strategic plan to address the NCD crisis. Because we believe that the Department of Health Services cannot fight this battle alone.
The states are not the only ones interested in changing policies to keep people healthy. In Pohnpei, the community of Ampimpoe has a no tobacco policy that deters people from smoking and chewing tobacco. Traditional leaders of Kichi have also banned smoking and chewing betel nut at community events, so people must leave the nest to smoke or chew. In Kushrai, community stores that sell betel nut do not sell to children.
We don't sell it to kids because I consider betel nut to be the same as tobacco.
In actuality, the FSM is full of role models, but there are a few ways to highlight them.
Role model is pretty, it's pretty low, if I should say that, because some of our leaders are chewing betel nut, even smoke. Although we do have policies around of using drugs as well as cigarette, but some of our leaders are still using these things. So to be a role model, our leaders should not use those things. That way students or even the community can adopt and then adjust themselves to these leaders that we do have around.
I think the main thing to do in terms of when it comes to role modeling and to just combat this issue of smoking and chewing betel nuts, we still come back to the fact that we should educate the people, especially the young kids.
So being a role model, I would say I can be And I am one because I always want to say and tell people, do not do this, but do this for the better health of your future.
It's wise to stop. It's for their own benefit, not somebody else's benefit, but what's good for them will actually good if they're family people. It would be good for their family, for their kids, and so forth. I tell them that that's how it all begins. That's how things being caught up in addiction, that's how it begins, by playing around with it. And it starts with small, you don't really know it. And that's the thing, it kind of creep upon you until you realize it and you're tired and you couldn't quit, but you wanted to. So the best thing is to be wise and stay away.
Although betel nut is not part of all Micronesian cultures, it has become an accepted practice that won't disappear soon. By educating the public on the deadly effects of chewing betel nut, the FSM Department of Health and Social Affairs, in conjunction with the 4 FSM state divisions of public health and the World Health Organization, hopes to see a decrease in the number of children who start chewing betel nut and in the number of adults that choose to quit chewing. While the number of deaths across the nation due to oral cancer caused by chewing betel nut with or without tobacco rises, we can only hope that an outlook on a brighter future for our people will help them make healthier choices. Take a step in the right direction and be a role model for our children. It can only have a positive impact on their lives and on yours.